So today, on this episode of Enhance, let's talk about varicose veins. So we know varicose veins are unsightly, but do they actually lead to actual medical problems? Well, you betcha. Well, like what? Well, there's increase your chance of clots, ulcers, pain, swelling. So yeah, it's actually a pretty big problem, and it's really underdiagnosed, to be quite honest with you, especially in our senior population. It's not that we don't know they're there, it's we don't know that they can lead to those medical problems as serious as they can be. So I would say they're mostly undertreated.
So as far as things that we can actively do, well, we can exercise and walk, we can elevate our legs at the end of the day, use various types of compression stockings to try and mitigate the symptoms, but all these things are just band-aids. So obviously, some of the more permanent treatments for varicose veins are surgical options. So when you have a physical problem, which is the vein no longer working correctly, well, you're going to have to fix it physically. Some of the more classic surgical options are something called vein stripping, where they actually physically strip the vein out of your leg. Ouch! But there's more modern techniques used now. For example, some things like laser ablation, where they actually cauterize the vein, if you will, with a laser that's inside the vein. One technique that's a little bit less brutal, if you will, is called RFA, a radio frequency ablation, which is the technique you see me doing here right now. Essentially, it works the same way as a laser, except we're using high-frequency radio waves to ablate, or cauterize again, if you will, the vein from the inside out. So essentially, we're forcing the blood into the vein system that does work. You may have also heard of a different technique called sclerotherapy. This one's more popular in these fly-by-night vein treatment centers that you may have heard of around town or on the radio. Essentially, they're just using a topical injection to clean up the physical appearance of the vein, but since you're not actually fixing the underlying problem of the vein underneath, that's only a short-lived small cosmetic fix that will soon return in other areas. We reserve that kind of a treatment after you fix the underlying problem for a more permanent and desirable appearance. So, our main goal then is to fix the medical problem to prevent complications in the future. Believe it or not, the physical appearance is secondary to the medical fix. For a further and more in-depth look at varicose veins, its symptoms, causes, and treatment options, be sure to visit us at aspenveinclinic.com.
So that does it for today's episode of Enhance. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned.